This is my interview. My name is Tunisia Boone, and I will be interviewing Deanna Boone for Advanced Counseling Skills class. Hello, Deanna.
Hi.
I would like to know, just tell me a little bit about yourself. Can you start just give me a little brief of your childhood, you growing up?
My childhood was very happy. I think it was what many would consider the normal childhood. It was I don't have any complaints. I have a lot of good memories about my childhood.
Did you have brothers and sisters? Was your father and your mother in the home?
Both parents were in the home and involved, and I have a older brother and a younger sister, so I'm in the middle, but I do not have middle child syndrome.
And what do you consider as middle child syndrome?
I don't know what that is. People ask me, do I have it? But I don't know what it is because I tell them that my parents treated each child equally.
Okay.
So I haven't been exposed to that.
When you were going to school, did you interact with other kids? Did you have friends? Did you enjoy going to high school?
I enjoyed high school. I have a lot of good memories. I was always quiet, but I had friends. I wasn't like the quiet outcast. Like, I was quiet, but I had friends.
Did you ever, were you involved in activities in school?
I wouldn't necessarily say activities, more so clubs.
After high school, what did you plan to do, and are you doing that now?
After high school, I plan to go to college, and I am doing that now.
Okay, and what are you doing in college? What is your major?
English. An English major. I want to be an English professor, preferably at my alma mater.
And what is your alma mater?
It will be Clark Atlanta University.
Okay, what year are you in?
This is my last year. I'll be done in December.
Okay, what do you think about the campus and the students that are there on the campus?
I think the students are full of life. Everyone is very involved, especially when it comes to things that are directly affecting African Americans and African American students. As far as the campus, everything is very accessible, close together. It's really nice. Has a lot of history.
Okay, the environment outside of the campus. Do you think that affect the campus in any way?
The environment outside of...
Around the surrounding areas around the campus. Do you think that the campus, the students that are on campus, do you think the environment around that campus, that surrounds that campus, do you think they have any bearing on the students on the campus?
I think it affects the students negatively and positively. As far as the atmosphere, there is a lot of homeless people. So positively, I guess that is motivation for the students to keep them on track as far as where they need to go, so they don't fall victim to being in that situation. Negatively, I think if a freshman is visiting the campus, it can be a bit scary seeing homeless people walk right through your campus, sometimes right past your library as you're coming out. So I think it's negative and positive.
Okay, well, where do you see yourself in the next year or two?
The next year or two, I see myself in grad school and teaching 9th grade literature.
Okay, what do you feel about your home life now that you're out of high school and you're in college? How do you feel about your home life?
I think sometimes it's a lot of distractions.
Such as?
Such as living. It's good to be close to your relatives, but I think sometimes your relatives don't respect your privacy and they don't respect the fact that you have other stuff to do. You have endeavors in life. So, popping up, calling, saying you're on the way over your house with really no purpose can be a distraction.
Okay. What would you change about your life right now? What would you change? If you had the opportunity to change something right now in your life, what would you change?
I would not change anything. I think everything fell into place as it should have. And I wouldn't change anything.
Okay. What would you have changed about your past if you could have?
I wouldn't change anything about my past. I think in the past, things fell according to the way God wanted them to fall. So I wouldn't change my past. I wouldn't change the now. In the future, when the future becomes the past, I wouldn't change that either. Excuse me.
If you were thrown in a situation where you had to help someone, for as like if you were on campus one day and you ran into a homeless person that just needed so much of your attention, would you be afraid, or would you go out of your way to help that person?
I wouldn't be afraid because at the AU Center, they tell you and teach you that the homeless people are not aggressive. So if it's 5 cents, 3 cents, any little thing will help. They tell us that they're not harmful. And I've never seen, honestly, a homeless person be harmful. So I would help.
Okay, what do you feel about your brother and your sister in y'all relationship? What type of relationship do y'all have?
I consider them my best friends. I think we are as close as a sister and brother can get.
Okay, what do you think about your mother and your father?
Their relationship or my relationship with them?
Your relationship with them. What do you think about your relationship with them?
Very close with my mom. I feel like I could talk to her about almost everything. I feel like she's there when I need her. So I credit her for being where I am today. My dad, it's getting better.
Well, you said earlier that your mother and father, you all grew up in the house together. So now, where are they now in your life?
Well,
are they still?
They're divorced.
Okay.
They're not together anymore. So.
Do you think that had some bearing on your relationship with your father?
Yes. In the past, things have not been so great, but things have improved. So.
In what way was things not great? In what way were things not so good with him?
Just as far as helping out with school, certain things that were said, certain things that were done. So we're close, but not as close as my mom and I, and not as close as I would like for us to be.
Do you think one day y'all will get there?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So what do you think you need to do to help y'all get there? And what do you think he needs to do to help y'all get to that point where you want to be with him?
I think I need to be more understanding and
understanding for as what?
More understanding to how he operates, how he does things, the decisions he makes, if I could be more understanding to that, I feel like I wouldn't have these high expectations that are not attainable for him.
Okay. And what do you think he needs to do to make your relationship better?
Be more concerned.
In what way?
Financially, he needs to be more concerned. Mentally, as far as giving advice that makes sense.
Do you think he did that in the past?
Gave bad advice?
Do you think he was more concerned in the past when he was with your mother, and now that they're divorced, do you think that's when his concerns kind of lacked off?
Financially, I can say. Will you repeat the question?
Do you think he was more concerned in the past when he was married to your mother than he is now that they are divorced? Do you think his concerns kind of lacked off once they were divorced and he was no longer in the house with you?
I think they did lack off, but then again, with their relationship, he could have been just the same. They just never showed us that side. You see what I'm saying?
So you're saying that he could have been like this all along? You just didn't know it? Is that what you're saying?
Right. We just possibly, I'm saying possibly.
Mm-hmm.
They never showed us that side. Or he could have evolved into this person.
Okay, but when you say he could have been that person, but they just didn't show us that side. Are you speaking of your mother too, or are you just speaking of him and someone else?
Both. My mother and my father.
Okay, so because
I've heard stories about Christmas that I didn't know was even going on until now.
Okay, so in other words, you're saying that you think your mother covered a lot of things for him?
It's possible.
And how do you feel about that? Do that make you feel different about your mother? Do it make you feel more compassion for her or less compassion for him?
More compassion for her. Because I always sympathize with my mom because she's a black woman and I'm a black woman. So she's shown me what it takes to be a good, productive black woman, as far as going to work every day, as far as being a mother, as far as being a wife. So I don't look at her any differently because of that situation. She could have just very well been protecting her children.
But what does it make you think of him? Do it make you look at him in a different way? To know what you know or what you suspect?
Yes, what I suspect. No, I don't look at him any differently. That's my dad, and I think the older I get, the more certain stuff doesn't surprise me. So speaking financially, as far as Christmas and how he is now, it doesn't really surprise me.
Okay. Well, Miss Deanna, I really feel like you are a very round, very culturally rounded person. You understand your black heritage, and you tend to think outside of the box. You try to understand what's going on in your home with your family, but you understand what's going on in the environment also. And I really appreciate you taking your time to sit down and speak with me. But right now we're going to have to end this recording because I think we're running out of space. But thank you, and you have a really good day. And if I have any more questions, can I come to you and ask you?
You sure can.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.